Today I'm sharing my 2026 planner stack, how I'm organizing my life, my business, and any creative projects with my favorite Hobonichi planners. I do have plans to incorporate one other planner for the year of 2026. And I say planners, but a lot of these Hobonichis end up being journals and things like that. But planner that I plan on incorporating will be the Wonderland 222 B6 horizontal core planner. And that will be a separate video in itself whenever that planner arrives. And I'll kind of go through how I anticipate to use that planner. But I'm really feeling excited about my planner stack so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you kind of what I have here. I have the Hobonichi Techo Original in the A6. I have the Hobonichi Weeks in the regular size. So this is not the mega. This is the smooth material, and it is in the color, I believe, milk cocoa. Yes. And I have my Hobonichi A5 cousin in the Han with the Liberty fabrics. Overall, this is my style. Just, I'm loving the girly, just very aesthetic. For me, this is making me really excited. Like all of the way that these colors match together, the way that they'll look on my bookshelf together, just makes me really excited. Overall, my planning style, very functional, with a little sprinkle of decorations and stickers, but not overwhelmingly do I like to use stickers unless I'm just trying to get rid of some. And for this year, I kind of over purchased stickers, so I've been using them more than I usually do, but I will show you a couple sample spreads as far as what I'm using and how I've been using my A5 cousin for this year. The way that I anticipate to use these all have different functions, and I am a mom. I am a business owner. We do braces, and we have now 2 offices that my husband and I have built from the ground up, and we recently purchased our second office, and so we do stay pretty busy. So that means lots of planning for the business, lots of mom things to do. We have 4 boys. My husband has 3 boys. I have 1. Altogether, we have 4. So different aspects of different lot of our lives are why I like to have separate books. Now, a part of that means mental health, which is what I plan on using this one for. A part of that means tracking my health overall, which is what this one is for. And this one's kind of just the big picture plans for personal home memories. And so far, I'm really feeling excited about how I'm structuring 2026 for myself. I kind of got into a mental health rut this year, in the beginning of the year. So you'll see in my 2025 A5 cousin, most of these pages are blank because I just was not in any good mental state to be able to sit down and plan. But I have since become much better mentally, and I'm super excited to get my life back together in 2026. And honestly, I've already started planning and journaling all over again, and I'm super excited about continuing that into 2026. And I think that part of being a planner is being okay with the fact that not every season of life allows you to do the things that you want to do. And I've come to terms with the fact that just because I wasn't able to plan the way I wanted to doesn't mean that I wasn't living my life and I wasn't doing what I needed to do so that I could move forward. And I'm so glad that I did. I gave myself a break from planning, from journaling, and I was able to come back with so much more motivation and excitement. And the most important thing was that I was able to put my mental health ahead of everything and get through those hard times and move forward as far as getting rid of the things that were affecting me negatively. So I'm going to go ahead and deep dive into how I plan on using these books as a system for 2026. I'm going to go ahead and show you my Hobonichi cousin to start out. So if you are not familiar with the Hobonichi cousin, this will kind of give you an idea of what to expect if you're getting your first one for this year. And I went ahead and picked this beautiful Liberty Fabrics. I kind of, for some reason, I didn't want to get a Liberty Fabrics in the past. I kind of was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to like it. And I ended up picking this because the selection for the Han is pretty limited. I did know that I wanted a hardcover Han again. Last year, I ended up getting the black gingham with the kind of more paperback. So as opposed to something like this, actually I have it here with me. Let me show you. This is my cousin for this year. It's well loved. I do have it in a planner cover that I purchased last year as well. It is, let me zoom out a little bit here. It is pretty chunky, but not too bad. This is exactly how I wanted it to end up. And so far it's worked out pretty good for me. I don't know. I didn't even realize I had these stains until right now, but that's okay. For me, that just shows that, you know, it's well loved. This is my cousin for this year, and the difference between the Han and a regular Techo is that the regular Techo that you can get in this size, which is the A5, also comes with this kind of just more paperback. I believe I'm pretty sure they are a little less expensive if you just get this paperback. And if you get a Han, you get a little bit more of a design on the front. And I really loved this black gingham. The part I like about the Hans is that you do get the year printed on the spine. And then down here it says Han. Let me show you my 2025. So my 2025 has the 2025 there. And so it's just really nice to be able to put these, put these on a bookshelf and be able to see this is 25, 26, and just kind of stack them up. So here is a nice little comparison as far as, now I don't use a million stickers, and I also wasn't in the book for several months, but this is kind of the comparison as far as what it starts out as and how it ends up. So let me show you kind of the way that I've been using this and how I anticipate to use it in 2026. So I think that I'll keep this kind of the same. I didn't end up needing as many of these sticky notes as I put in here, but I did, it was really nice and convenient to have like these little sticky notes and page flags to use them as needed. And then this is just kind of a little tooth sticker because I'm a dental hygienist. And then this is just kind of a little card that came with an order from, I believe, a book from last year, my name, and then this little sticker from the Coffee Monsters Co. I think that I am going to continue placing my son's schedule for the year in this section here. I don't think that I'm going to put in the paydays like I did here, just because it's not as necessary for me anymore. We switched our payroll to twice a month, so it's very easy for me to remember that it's the 5th and the 20th of every month. My son's schedule, he lives with me half the time and with his dad half the time, and he's with me for 2 weeks at a time. So I like to put in the weeks that he's with me, and I usually put those in friction marker highlighters, so that if things change with my ex-husband's schedule, I can easily go in there and erase it and change it, which is actually going to come up here soon. Now, this section and the monthlies are kind of the bigger reason as to why I decided that I wanted to do a separate business planner for myself, because it did start to become a little overwhelming as far as, what all is going on. And so what I anticipate using these pages for is similar, but with a few tweaks and changes. So I was putting kind of all of the things that were going to happen in the future. I just tried to think of all of the things in the beginning of the year, as many things as possible, put it in, and so that way I could easily reference this and say, okay, this is when these things need to happen, like paying my HOA quarterly, and getting a Father's Day gift, planning my son's birthday party, which has like snuck up on me in years past, my car registration, just all kinds of things that are kind of more personal, home related types of things. And then I used this middle section more as a perpetual planner to just kind of put in like the holidays, because this is a Japanese book. It doesn't have all of the holidays that we celebrate. So it was just really nice to have those in the beginning, so that whenever I am setting up my months, I can remember, okay, well, this is Valentine's Day, this is President's Day, probably not going to have school on that day, type of thing. So then I kind of used this bottom section. I did a few duplicates, like, let me see, Memorial Day. Did I put it in here? Yeah. So here I put Memorial Day twice. So it was a little duplicate, but overall, I was just kind of trying to get as many things down as possible. It did become a little overwhelming because some of these things are like for work, like, some of our employees' birthdays that I didn't want to forget, renewing CPR cards and 401k and all of that. It's a lot. It's a lot. So what I want to do is continue to use this as my for just personal, and eliminating the business and putting that into a separate book, which will be, I believe, the Wonderland 222. So not so much backfilling. This is just more forward planning, things that I know need to happen or things that I need to be aware of. And then what I've been doing is kind of coming in and filling in any travel dates that ended up happening for that month. I've been going in and filling those in, and I think I will continue to do that for 2026. And so this is kind of an example of what my months are looking like. I've been playing with highlighters and different colors and things like that, but overall, this has kind of been the idea of my monthlies. So not too many stickers. I have a couple Coffee Monsters co-stickers in here, but otherwise it's just than anything, pen and highlighters. So like here, I put, everything that's an event is going to be in this yellow color. Anything that's personal will be in the pink, which I guess I didn't end up having anything personal. All my stuff for Mason and for work, I just categorized everything. So a little task here for myself. I said, I need to do my expense reports by this date. Marked it off whenever that was completed. And off to the side over here, I just kind of have a little reminder for the corresponding week. So for example, this week, I knew I needed to renew my CPR certification, and that had to happen this week. So I placed it in the middle of this week. Same thing here. I need to prepare the bonus checks before the Christmas party that was happening here. So I put that on this week so that I could remember, okay, I need to prepare those. Those need to happen by the end of this week. And then also like my little check-in for our cruise, and just little reminders that correspond with this week. Travel, I just kind of used my highlighter all throughout, and that worked out. Just visually, I could see what was happening. And then I did change it a little bit for this month. Not much. I just did these little brackets so that I could see this is when my son is leaving home. So he was here all through here. He was home, and then starting in this week is when he's away. And then the opening brackets are showing me that's when Mason is home again. So very functional. I use mostly friction pens in the monthlies, not so much like my fountain pens and things like that, because just for some reason I feel better about planning out my months with those friction pens. And that's been working out pretty good. And then anytime we do travel, I either, put it in with the highlighter, or I do it with a marker like I did here. And here this month I used a few more stickers. And then again, just more like highlight and my same little like reminders off to the side. Use a little bit of washi here. I may have back planned this one a little bit. So I tend to like to add washi and stickers after the fact. So like this month, I know that I came in after the fact and said, well, I didn't use this bottom section, so I'm just going to put in some washi just so that it looks cute. So I tend to be a little more functional first and then stickers later. So the same thing with this one, I ended up back planning a bunch, so I didn't color coordinate anything. I know I back planned April, May, June, and I think even July I back planned. And then August is when I started to use it again, I believe. So this is what my monthlies are looking like so far, but my biggest thing is that I want to be able to remove all of the work and business related items and put them into a separate book. And I'm hoping that this is going to be, well, the idea, not my hope, but the idea is that this book for next year will be simply all personal events, memories, and things like that I can put in. And so it just doesn't become so cluttered. Travel, I'll keep in here. That's all great. And then let me show you kind of a sample of a week. So this is obviously a sticker heavy week. I did purchase quite a few stickers for 2025, and I ended up not using many of them at all because I just ended up kind of falling off the wagon. But another sticker heavy, a lot of the ones in the beginning were sticker heavy because I wanted to just use them up, get rid of the stickers. There's no reason to hoard them. The reason we buy them is to use them. There's nothing on this through here of most of my weeks. This one I really ended up liking. I think it's because I used my like marker down here and did a little bit of lettering. Very sticker heavy, definitely not my style overall, but I do like the way that it looks. It looks great, and I had this perfect little marker that matched the colors in this kit. This one was a really nice week as well. It wasn't too overwhelming with stickers. And And I kind of went in after the fact and added little things that happened to the bottom here, and then just kind of planned out my day up top. And this is this current week, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, I just need a running to-do list. I filled in some stickers that I had, and that was about it. Like, that's not really anything else. But overall, that's what my weeks have looked like. This is kind of something that I planned out recently, and I think that what I'm going to do is just kind of pick some photos from when we traveled throughout the year and put the photos in these little boxes, just so that I can kind of get a little glimpse of some memories for the year. And then this is kind of what my journal ends up looking like. You'll see I did a little bit of journaling in January, nothing too crazy there, and then I fell off for the most part all through February, March, April, May, and I recently started journaling again in August. So I don't really have, a big like structure as to how I end up journaling. I put in like little pictures whenever I can. This is kind of a dashboard page at all. I used a couple stickers. And then you'll see, this is the US Open Finals. I really like the way this turned out. I like the lettering. I like the way that it pops, and that looked good. And so this is what my journaling has looked like so far. It's just really all over the place. And let's see. So I used more stickers this week. I wrote down like some packages that I got. My little Coffee Monsters Co. pen came in, and my husband bought me a new bag when we were in Vegas. So that's what this is, and I plan on continuing my journaling in this manner, where I kind of put in the highlights of the day. I like to be able to see it here and also in a weekly overview, and then kind of journaling about what happened that day. And that's how I plan. I did do a little swatch page, and you'll see I have, mostly in the back of the book, I have all of these little like tabs. So this is just kind of a swatch page. And then this is a monthly production graph that I plan on doing at the end of the year. I will put in kind of like, how much money we made for each office, and then I'll be able to compare, like if it went up and down and things like that, and I'll be able to side by side see, how each office did for the year. This is my 100. I did end up filling this out in the beginning of the year, and I never really went back. I mean, I came in and checked off a couple things. I did want to use this initially for 10K steps a day, but this I think is going to be transferred over to my Hobonichi weeks for next year. And I do want to try again. The original plan for this page was to be a mood tracker. I just started to really overthink things, and I tend to do that a lot. So I'm going to try my best to not do that this year. And I would like to just, use these colors to have kind of like a mood tracker off to the side here. I have a little bit of personal information here, so I'm just going to cover that. But this back page, I just put in the little Coffee Monsters Co. sticker and my bean collection, because, you can cash these in for something, I believe, but I never do. It's just, I have so many of them. I thought it would be cute to have a little bean collection back here. And I did get this idea from someone, but any extra stickers that I end up width I've just been sticking back here, and then this kind of stays in the back of my planner. Is kind of the gist of how I'm using my planner this year. I do plan to continue to use it in a very similar manner, but what I am changing is that I am removing all of the business and work items and placing them into my Wonderland 222. The next two will be pretty easy. So the next one we are going to talk about is my A6 Original. Plans for the A6 Original originally this was going to be my business planner. But when I started to think about it, I was like, I'm finding that I need more space for business purposes. And there is a big part of me that does want to see my weekly overview work-wise. So I decided to change this and turn it into a journal prompt journal. The Hobonichi Original only comes with monthlies. It does come with the front pages with the yearlies. I like the yearly overview. And then you have 2 months per page here. So you get December of 25, and then we go into January, February, March. And so you get 2 months per page. What I'm going to do is kind of put in the little questions for each month, and then I'll go into my dailies and write out the question again and write out my little answers. But being able to see them kind of as a whole from the monthly section will be really nice, because I can easily come in here and say, you know, what was that one question? And I can come in here and say, oh yeah, that was from October 16th. Let me see what, what my answer was. I thought that maybe this would be a good way to use up some of my fountain pen inks. And maybe up here in the front, I could maybe plan what inks I'm going to use. For sure that I want to use this for journal prompts, and the monthly will just be a house for all of the prompts themselves. So my only thing that I'm a little worried about is that maybe the questions won't fit here. So I'm hoping that I can get some questions that are short enough that I can fit them in there. So yeah, that one's a simple one. This one's just going to be more of a feel good journal that I can have and fill out at the end of the day, maybe even in the beginning of the day, just whenever I feel like it, honestly. Last but not least, I have my Hobonichi Weeks, which has been my health tracker and planner. So most of the time, or overall, this week's is more of a tracker than anything. And I really love using it for that purpose. The other thing that I'm thinking about using this for is potentially putting in kind of like my personal things here. So this will be my personal on the go. I can see what's happening. And then I will have my business planner, not this one, but my Wonderland 222 to kind of bring with me. And I'll have my 2 planners that I need almost every day, and they'll be small enough to just kind of toss in my bag. So my only reservation about this particular week's is this is the smooth cover. It has this really nice embossing on the side. I think that it's beautiful, and I am obsessed with this color. It's coming off more like corally on camera, but in person it is more of a brownish pink color of sorts. I didn't know this about the smooth cover, but this doesn't lay flat. And that is one of the features of a Hobonichi that I fell in love with. And so you're going to think I'm crazy, but part of me is. So I ordered the strawberry milk regular, not the mega. I don't need a mega. This one is perfect for me, this size. But I ordered the strawberry milk because I was so torn between that one and this one. And I just kind of was like, well, I already have enough pink, and my cousin is so, you know, girly already. Maybe I just get this one and it's just a little more classy. But I don't know how I feel about this not laying flat. And I read that you could maybe train it. I'm also thinking I can, you know, like clip it down whenever I'm ready to use it, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having an on-the-go planner like the Weeks, because I don't want to have to like, oh, okay, well, where's my clip so that I can write in this? And I mean, I can obviously write in it and just do this, but I don't like that it folds over on itself. That is my only reservation about this Weeks in particular. And overall, I love it, but I do think that I'm going to end up using the strawberry milk, which I think will still look good in this stack, although I do love how these all look together. Last but not least, I just want to show you my accessories, which are not many. I didn't repurchase any more of these pencil boards because I purchased 2 last year. Last year, I also purchased this Mina Fiernan cover for the A5. And I've been using this with my gingham Han, and that just goes in there perfectly. And 10 pen fits in there perfectly as well, and it just holds it all together. And because I loved that so much, I decided that I wanted to get a little cover for my original. So I ended up purchasing this smooth leather cover from Hobonichi. And, well, actually, I didn't purchase this directly from Hobonichi. I think I ordered it from, Jet Pens maybe. So I got that for this planner, and I just thought that, you know, it couldn't go wrong with black. If I ever wanted to use this as a business planner, maybe my Wonderland 222 ends up being too big, I can always use this size for a business planner, and I'd have a nice cover that's gonna last a long time. That is just very classic and business-like. And the last accessory that I purchased was this clear cover. Now, I love how this feels on its own, and I really would love to just use this on its own, but I do know that I will get it dirty. I know that I will, in the next year, something will happen where I spill my coffee or something will get on here, so I do want to protect it. And what I'll do is I'll just reuse this clear cover that's made specifically for the Han. This is a Hobonichi brand clear cover. And what I'll do is at the end of the year, I take this out and then I just put the book on my shelf, and then I get to reuse this clear cover. Okay, so that is my 2026 planner stack. I love seeing how everyone sets up their planners. So let me know what you're using for this year in the comments. I would love to hear what you ended up picking. I have been watching videos like crazy, and I do plan to create another video showcasing my Wonderland 222. And I also plan to showcase a video for each planner setup. I believe that I want to separate them unless for some reason they go by pretty quickly, but I do want to set up my Weeks as my health planner, set up my journal prompt planner, and my personal journal planner. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my planner setups and journaling ideas throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.